everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Kate Thompson, a principal broker here at Best Real Estate Company, and I am accompanied by Ms.
Shanita Johnson. How are you?
Yes, also a broker here at Best. And this is the latest episode of your Friday Focus. Um, I'm just going to jump right in here. We both have done some research on different topics that we could bring to you guys for this week. We both have had, well, it's been a whole busy month. I mean, for us, with the obligations that we have with the community, June, July, usually very big months for us. So I want to say thank you guys for being patient with us. I know that a couple of the last episodes that we've had some cutoffs and things of that nature because we just have been so enthused in conversing with one another about whatever it is we're talking about. And so today we're definitely going to try to stay honed in on the topics and bring you some things of substance that might be able to help you in your business. So Shanita has discovered a topic that, let me just preface this by saying we're really still researching. She's still researching the particulars of it, but I think that it is a topic that's important enough for us to be at least having a gauge on, because it could definitely affect some areas of our businesses as a collective and individually. So, Shanina, why don't you take us away with that?
Okay, so back in April of this year, Freddie Mac proposed to the Biden administration to allow people who have low interest rates the opportunity to have second lien mortgages in the form of a home equity line of credit to access the equity in their home, and Freddie Mac would back those loans, those government backed loans. So yesterday it was approved. The Biden administration approved second lien mortgages for homeowners who want to access the equity in their property. There's a couple of reasons that where this may be problematic, and what opponents of this are saying. They're saying that it's detrimental for a couple of reasons. One is that with us already having a low inventory nationwide, this proposing this bill where the government will back these second loans, it will force people to stay in their homes longer and thus not create an inventory for first-time home buyers. The second argument against it is that it's putting undue stress on the government by backing these loans where people are essentially getting money, right, that could increase the debt, which we're already in a situation where inflation is increasing. So it's problematic in those ways. So I haven't read a lot more about it. Like I said, it was just released yesterday. So just curious to how you all feel about this. Do you think that it will affect homeowners, first-time homeowners who want to buy homes? If we have people who are staying in their homes longer because now they can access the equity without having to they can keep their same 2-3% interest rate, because that's the thing. They can refinance. They can get a second mortgage to access their equity, but it'll be at the same rate that they currently have. So if they have a 2% interest rate, they can get a second mortgage at 2% as opposed to the 6.8% that we currently have. So just wondering what you guys think about that. Is it going to be detrimental for first-time home buyers? Is it something that we need to look at when it comes to increasing the debt for the government institutions that back the loans? Just something to think about, because I mean, we're already dealing with a lot with inflation and everything, and we know the more debt there is that the government has, of course, inflation has to keep pace with that. So
Right.
those are my thoughts. Like I said, I'm still reading it, and still doing the research on it, but that's it.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to come back to us with an update at some later point. Some things in our industry, especially as it relates to government, was probably the case for all things as it relates to government. It can be slow. Um, for us to be able to get, to be able to get, get the full picture. Yeah. And, then usually they have to have studies and things that allow you to, look at the impact over time that such policies may have.
Yep.
And so, I think we could probably break that up into a few segments, and as it develops, we can talk more about it and share. I like that you were able to find that. I wasn't actually. A few weeks ago, I read an article about, and we actually had the opportunity to meet this woman. You help me remember her.
Okay.
When we did the Let the Church at the first time at
Up from the World.
Not Up from the World. When we were over at Shady Grove the first time.
Okay.
The young lady who was there from the Shanice, yes. We were able to talk a little bit about, I don't know if people are aware, but Memphis, Tennessee is one of several cities where the National Low Income Housing Coalition, they do the Our Homes, Our Vote campaign every year, which I'm a member of. That's a national organization. I'm a member of it. And several other organizations got together. There was a study done, and it was determined that one particular organization, or not one particular organization, but several property management companies. So not your mom and pop um, companies, but the bigger, more established and well-known rental firms were using a software to screen tenants that had an algorithm in it that discriminated against Section 8 home renters. Um, and like I said, it was based on the Section 8 certificate. So this has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with any of that. This is just these landlords did not want Section 8 tenants. Well, maybe they did. It's not that they didn't want the Section 8 tenants. They were just really, because I don't want to put that bag on them either. They were just using a software that had, for screening tenants, that had a component in it that literally turned away these certain tenants or tenants who had Section 8. So basically, in essence, a lot of times those property management companies never even got to look at those applications themselves with real human eyeballs, because this algorithm excavated them from the pool of viable candidates. So now, for me, that says two things. One, there is still value in human to human connection.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes what we see on paper about a person isn't a complete and accurate reflection of who they are, what their goals are, what they're trying to do to move forward. I'm in no way saying that any landlord, whether they were a mom or pop operation or a corporation, were intentionally trying to discriminate. I actually think it was probably to the contrary. They were sold a product, like we all buy Zillow and Realtor and all of that, right? We are given the opportunity to purchase a product that is marketed to us as a tool that we can use to improve our processes, improve our relations with our customers, whatever it is. And I just kind of think a lot of people locally may have gotten caught up with that, especially if there was a cost benefit to it. So I do realize that, say her name again,
Shanice
Shanice.
Anthony. She's with the, let me say the
Yeah, because it's a
organization.
whole new organization.
Yes.
And this organization, I think, is going to work in place of the setup that we had for the Memphis area legal services and their housing. The way she sounded, it's like that's their sole purpose, is to fight for discrimination at every level and all different types for people as it relates to housing. And the first thing that they're really picking up is this Section 8 thing. And Section 8, there's people from every walk of life, every nationality and every race that need that program. I know lots of people who have utilized that program. I actually know someone here in Memphis who took the Section 8 rental voucher and went through the SHAPE program, which real estate agents really should be telling people about, because that's your pipeline in a lot of ways. You can help those people get on the path to home ownership. You don't even have to do much but except point them in the direction of where they can find information on the program, and it's laid out, and then Section 8 takes it over from there. But you can come back to those people once they've completed the steps they need to complete to convert that voucher and make them a homeowner.
And there's I just recently found out about this. Uh, to go back to the what you said about the using a house Section 8 housing choice voucher to purchase real estate. There's HUD also has a program, which I did not know.
They sure do.
It's been around for a really
decades,
long time, really long time, but
that people don't know about.
It's called families something. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Because I just found out about this. But anyway, it's a program where a person that receives a housing choice voucher, they put them in a program to make them on the path to home ownership, and they can use that Section 8 voucher to do that. They help them save money.
They teach them about budgeting. Right. They teach them about you also have to be working. So you cannot be on Section 8 and not be working and qualify for their program. So in a lot of ways, it's good because it's helping to helping to improve the workforce, or bring people back to it if they wish to participate and complete the program. And it's also helping us to help more people in their fight to be home owners. Yeah. That is, I think renters are an untapped market for real estate agents. We usually shun them off because we don't think we can make enough money from them. But I'm not a property manager, but I have helped tenants purchase or go out and find a proper rental. And I may make $100-$200. A lot of times, I may not make that. It just depends on what the situation is. Maybe the other side, the lender or the agent on the other side who has the rental listing doesn't have enough to put in it, whatever. But those people never forget me. That's one thing I can say about renters. When they get a real estate agent to help them find a home, they remember you, because so many other realtors say, I don't do that. And then as soon as they're ready to buy, they come back to me. And I know that has happened to me at least 10 times in my real estate career. So the main point of that is just, especially with housing pricing and things being the way they are, some people are pre-qualified. I have somebody that's pre-qualified right now for just $100,000, and they're not able to find a home that fits their need. But they said, well, I'm just going to stay in my apartment for another year. That's fine with me. I can keep up with that person for another year in hopes that the market will be different so that they can move forward. There's so many things that can happen in a year. That person could get a better job, different things. There could be an increase in their income for other reasons that would allow them in a year to be able to make a move. And so I just don't want people to be out here discounting the renters um, because of that. And I do want to make people make a mention that even though we have this thing going on with NAR and having to get these buyers reps agreements and things signed like that, it is still illegal for us to deny a person the right to view a home because they don't have a pre-approval letter. And in the last 24 hours, I've had 3 people say that to me. That not from best agents. That's why I'm just reminding us. This is not a getting on. None of us have done this, but I have gotten 3 calls from 3 different people in the industry that were looking for housing. I'm saying that said that 3 other people in our industry, so 3 other agents that weren't best agents, said I can't show you this house because you don't have a pre-approval letter. And you know what 2 of those 3 people said? I don't even know what that is or how to get it. So we are stopping people before they can even get started with this nonsense about what we're not going to do. Right. Before you turn them down, ask them the question. Do you know what a pre-approval letter is? Right. Ask them, guys. Right. Like, because come on, like, they'll never get it if somebody doesn't take the time to explain to them the process for that. So I'm so thankful that I asked every person that called, all 3 of the people, well, can you tell me the agent's name? They told me the agent's name, and I'm like, oh, thank God they're not us. So I just want to remind you guys of that even though we are going to be in a place where we need to get these buyer's rep agreements signed, we still have to honor those other processes. So don't stop doing what you're doing in terms of showing people property, because they don't have a pre-approval yet letter. You look at that as an opportunity to help educate them on how to do that, how to get that done.
Yeah, and connect them with a lender, because that's the only way they're going to know, and that's the only way they'll go from being a customer to a client.
And most millennials and Gen Zers, they don't know, y'all. They didn't get the same. I'm finding it out every day too this week. Certain people didn't get the same education. Certain generations, we got taught things that other generations didn't get taught. And these young people, Alexa off, I'm sorry about that. They are not learning the way we learned. So it is up to us to teach them. And so I hope everybody is doing that. And the last thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was we have been getting from our local real estate, what do you call them? MAR association.
Yes, the board.
These messages, actually somebody had the audacity to call my cell phone with some foolishness about, this is why you shouldn't vote for the tax increase. So I want to dispel one thing, because I've heard several people say this, and this is about our Memphis mayor is in the process of proposing a tax increase on property. Yep. One thing I can say about this mayor is this: he is very personable. Yep. And very approachable. Yeah. I have talked to him, I know, at least 5 times this year since he's been president. Myself, as a person, as a constituent, he does not walk around with a bunch of bodyguards and a bunch of people following him like he is important. He is a regular, everyday, average guy. Yep. And I love that. And when you ask him a question, he gives you a direct answer. It is not a float around, jump around, whatever. Now, I understand that there are people out there who, and I'm not giving my opinion one way or the other about what I think about these taxes. This tax increase. What I'm saying is, I think people should listen to the man who is presenting the increase. He has a very robust list of reasons that are very much verifiable if you just look for why we need this increase. And I hear a lot of people saying he's asking for a 75% increase. No. It is not 75%. It is 75 cents.
Or 28%.
Right. It is not 75. Your taxes are not going up 75%. So I just want to dispel that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say anything else about it except for that in the Memphis Business Journal, which I love, and I thank Jack Webster for saying, "Hey, you should be reading this thing," because he turned me on to reading it like on a regular basis, and now I have a subscription and I'm stuck on it. But in the Memphis Business Journal, dated June 7th through June 13th, so this came out just last week. There is an entire article on why the mayor is asking for this increase. And we had the opportunity just a couple of days ago to hear from our property tax assessor and some other people who work in our local government.
Yeah.
And they explained to us what the alternative was.
Yes.
If we don't have this tax increase. And let me tell y'all something, it is not pretty. If you think you're having trouble getting the police to come to your house, if you think you're having trouble finding getting to a hospital in an ambulance, don't pay attention to what they're saying and see what happens.
And the thing that was like Kay said, we were in a meeting on Tuesday with Assessor Burgess and a couple other council members and government officials, and it was brought up a few years ago.
Yep. They tried to do it several times.
To do incremental property tax increases. And every time the incremental
was turned down.
It was turned down. Like every time it was brought up, it was turned down. So now we're at a point where it's critical.
Yeah, they're saying if we don't do something.
Right. Because things should have been done.
That didn't get done.
Incrementally years ago. I want to say 2017 was the first year that was mentioned. But anyway, either way, because things were not done incrementally, now we're forced to do everything all at once. Yes, it's going to increase property taxes. Will that deter people from purchasing homes? I don't necessarily think so.
Nope.
Because, I mean, property taxes are property taxes.
Right, and you don't have to pay them anyway. And my thing is, if we really want to see improvement and things, sometimes we have to take a road that we may not have traveled. Like I said again, I have listened to his side of things, the mayor. I'm looking to see any rebuttal, and I'm looking to see what alternative solutions that are going to come out of conversations that our government has about this increase, and I'm open to all of it. So that's why I said I don't have an opinion
just yet.
Yeah, one way or the other. I'm putting it out here because it's important for us in this city. If we are homeowners, if we own rental property and things of that nature, to pay attention to. And I feel like if MAR is going to push for awareness for it, they're not saying one way or the other. Well, they're saying, yes, they are. They're saying vote against it. But they're not giving any reasons why we should vote against it. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for is, what is the flip side to, what would be the alternative if we didn't cast a vote?
Well, I think the argument that's coming from our local board is that it will put undue financial burdens on homeowners who are already burdened by.
Oh, that ain't been our neighborhoods then, happen, because we already have that problem, and we've had it for a long time. People that are and I just mean that. I mean from an economic perspective, like that's always going to be a challenge. We're always going to have people that struggle economically. So to me, that's not a good enough reason not to pay attention to it.
and
what the other side is saying. I'm saying, I think that, but I do commend them. I do commend Mar for even bringing it to the forefront,
right,
because so many of us don't pay attention to our local politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're having, a major thing happening tonight on a national scale. And that's fine. I'll tune into it and I'll listen to it, but we need to be affecting change on the local level. And local politics is what has the biggest impact on us. And so I just urge you guys to listen to both sides.
Yep.
With an open mind, and then make your decision based on that. What you heard and what you think makes sense, not what someone is just feeding you through the media or whatever else. And so that's all I have about that. Do you have anything you want to add?
To transition from that conversation, which leads into the other, when it comes to the property tax increase, another thing that, and this is my opinion on the pilot program, the way we allow, our city allows companies to come into the city under the pilot program where they don't pay taxes for a certain period of time. And then one company in particular, I'm not going to name it because I'm sure.
I'll say it, Electrolux. It was Electrolux.
They left the city.
They left owing us a lot of money.
$30 million.
And they didn't do half the things that they said. Right. And now we have this big empty structure that Elon Musk wants to put a computer in.
Yes.
And bring 90 jobs that he already filled.
Yes.
So that's where we at with that. I'll say it. You don't have to say it.
And so that's the thing that we have, and when we're looking at, like Kay said, when we're talking with our local government officials, county, city council, commissioners, all of the things, mayors, I think we need to pay attention to those things, because the businesses do affect us as real estate professionals.
Yeah.
Because if we're continuing to allow companies to come into our city, we give them all these tax breaks for X number of years, and then they leave with all of the jobs. That we need to do a better job on that. And that's, I think, for us as real estate professionals, we need to do a better job of holding our city council, our local officials, holding them more accountable in that regard, as opposed to some other things.
And the only way we can do that effectively is to show up. I don't care what side of it you're on.
Right.
We need to be coming to make sure that our local officials are in touch with what we know we need, because we're the people who are living and working in the city every day. And until we can do that, they're going to make decisions based on what their personal experience is, and that may not line up with what we think and what we need. So I urge you guys to just pay attention, listen to both sides. And then when it's time for for us as a community to make a decision on what we want to do, we can make that decision regardless of what it is, with being well informed.
Right.
So thank you.
Yeah, we gotta listen to both sides.
And so with that being said, we are 2 weeks in, Shanita, without exceeding the 30 minutes. So I am so excited about that. We are having our afternoon tea on Sunday. We're giving away 6 scholarships. So it is that's very important to us to be able to have an impact on our community like that. There is still time to buy tickets. You can go to www.wcnmemphis.com. Purchase your tickets there. It's $55. We have food. We have a DJ. We have a very beautiful venue. We have some community leaders that you can come and bend their ear.
Yep.
And so we hope to see you.
And if you cannot attend, we would love your donation to fund scholarships for the
next year. Yes, I'm going to give a scholarship donation myself. And so if you guys can do it, please do so. And we thank you guys for tuning in and for keeping us motivated to do this every week. And until next week, we hope that you are productive and prosperous and that you have blessings unabounding. Take care.
Happy Friday.